Okay, if it's Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, that can mean just one thing. It's time for the goRIA live stream. A couple of disclosures, which I think is probably appropriate because we're going to be talking about fiduciary care in just a moment. So let me give you some additional disclosures for today's live stream. It's actually not live, and it's not Wednesday right at this moment. It is actually Sunday night. I am at Future Proof getting our goRIA mobile podcast unit set up. But there is an important announcement I did want to have drop on Wednesday with Knut Rostad, who I'm going to turn this over to in just a moment. So please work with us. So this is not exactly live. It's pre-recorded, but it is intended to be our Wednesday live stream. With all those fiduciary-friendly disclosures out of the way, let me bring on Knut Rostad. Knut, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Well, listen, Chuck, thank you for having me. And this is when I get to say live from Deer Isle, Maine on Sunday night. It is the Chuck and Knut show.
Oh boy, that would be a ratings blockbuster if we made that happen on a regular basis, I am sure.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. So
let's dial everyone in or tune everyone into what exactly we're here talking about today. And Knut, as a lot of you will know, is the founder of the Institute for the Fiduciary Standard. And September is Fiduciary Month, and Knut has just an amazing lineup of webinars and events focusing all about fiduciary care, which is something I'm very passionate about. And if you think I'm passionate about it, I can tell you what, Knut is passion times 10 on this particular topic. So with all that said, as some backdrop, can you tell us what you have in mind for September?
Well, what we have in mind for September, as we have for every September, is to have a conversation throughout the month on the issues that we believe are most important for fiduciary advisors and their clients. And so, for example, we've had an interview with Bob Veres on his new book coming out on the history of financial planning, and we're having two discussion panels this month about the issue of whether alternative investments belong in 401k plans. And I know that, Chuck, that you're just dying to get into that conversation. I can't wait.
And a bit.
And then, just as a couple of other examples, we have three very well-known fee-only RIA planning firms talking about how they have done their succession planning without giving up majority control to outside investors. And two of the three firms have done it exclusively through their own employees. And so I think that's a very sort of a pertinent topic right now. So there are some examples of what we're going to be talking about in September.
Those are some great ones. And I tell you what, I didn't realize you were doing some topics on succession planning. That's actually top of mind for me personally. And we have already made a lot of public statements that we are not going to take on private equity at Sovereign. I am literally in the process right now of crafting a succession plan to go into the hands of our next generation advisors, our next generation operations people. So I'm going to be very eager to dial into that one myself. So, and I think too, it relates to fiduciary care, or let me put this as a question. Would you say that internal succession does relate to fiduciary care? Because it would be more fiduciary friendly than handing over your clients to private equity. Is that something that you would say is a fairly accurate statement?
Chuck, this is another place where I think are in complete agreement. Yes. I mean, from a high level, I have yet to find somebody who would tell me the difference between a broker who is selling other firms' products on the one hand and has other firms looking over their shoulder, and what's the difference between that and an RIA having a majority stakeholders in looking over their shoulder, because we know, and this is fine, by itself, that majority stakeholders in venture capital are looking to increase the profits as much as possible. So there has to be a conflict there by definition. So yes, absolutely.
Plus also for me, and most people that are founders, I'm founder of Sovereign. And I'm not looking to go anywhere, but like I tell folks, by next year, I no longer want to be involved with talking about why APIs are no longer working. I don't want to be involved with writing HR policies, but I want to be involved. I don't want to be pushed out by private equity. But I also want to throw my advisors and my clients into the hands of private equity because it's just not where I feel they will best be served. And to be continued more in some of your webinar. So let's do this. Let's pivot to some specificity. I know I've got the pleasure of being a panelist on one of your webinars.
Yes.
We'll be joined with a couple of other pretty big names. You want to tell the folks who that will be?
Right. On this panel, which is September 17th from 3 to 4 p.m., we will have, in addition to yourself, we'll have Jason Wenk from Altruist, who literally does not need any introduction. And we'll also have Dennis Moore from the Financial Planning Association, who may be not quite as high profile as Jason, but also is very well known in the industry.
Without question. So I'm looking forward to that. And for people that want to dial in, and why are we talking about this on goRIA? Well, especially the panel that I'll be on with Jason and Dennis, and of course, moderated by yourself. We're going to be talking a lot about what is the difference between the RIA model and the broker-dealer model. So if you are in the broker-dealer space still, number one, what are you waiting for? Number two, if you really want an interesting insight, we talk a lot about how, there's excellent technology and an excellent breadth of services available to you. But what we're going to talk about on Knut's webinar is really at the heart of the matter, and what exactly, from a fiduciary perspective, from a client care perspective, what is the difference between the broker-dealer world and the RIA space? So I would encourage you, if you're in the audience listening and you're thinking about going RIA, this will be a great webinar for you to tune into. And Knut, just leave us, if you would please, on some idea of how people in the audience can sign up for this webinar. I know it's free of charge, but how can they actually get themselves on the list?
Well, they can get themselves on the list by going to our website, where the program is on the website under Fiduciary September 2025, or they can email the Institute directly, info@thefiduciaryinstitute.org, and I'll make sure that they get an invitation and get on the list so they can view this panel discussion.
All right, that sounds fantastic. Well, Knut, that's a great place to put a pin in it for today. Thanks for bearing with me on some windy background. Hopefully the audio is coming through fine enough. And I look forward to this webinar in just a couple of weeks. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Chuck. And we'll look forward to the webinar as well. All right.
So that's it for today. We still have a little bit more coverage from Future Proof, which I'm predicting will happen because this is Sunday, but Wednesday we'll be doing the live coverage. So stick tuned for some more of that. Thanks for joining us. Take care.